Hey, what's happening, guys? Today we're stepping back in time to talk about some sports movies from the 80s and the 90s. Now, we all remember sports classics like Rocky, Field of Dreams, Hoosiers, and Major League, but today I have 5 solid sports movies that you might have forgotten about. Now, a good sports movie needs enjoyable plot elements, appealing characters, and most important, capable action through well-crafted sports sequences, moments that can really pull you up into the heat of the competition while on the couch watching a movie in this genre, and these 5 forgotten gems can do just that, so let's get into it. We're hitting the slopes for my first movie, a ski-themed drama called Aspen Extreme from 1993 about a couple of guys who head to Aspen looking for adventure and extreme skiing, but also find wealth and seduction and temptation, teaching them that in Aspen, skiing is the easy part. That was the tagline for this at times cheesy romp in the snow from the very early 90s. It's all a bit on the nose and the blend of cliches is hard to argue, but this still is a charming movie to sit back and enjoy for what it is. The friendship between Burke and Rutecki is very raw, but it's very sincere and natural for a couple of friends that can lure you in. Of course, Aspen consumes them in different ways. One is embraced by high society and consumed by it. The other is discarded by it with highly emotional results, so I think there is plenty of character drama to grab onto while flowing through this story. Terry Polo and Finola Hughes deliver very capable performances as well, which I think helps line this flick with a juicy love triangle to have fun with as well. But I mean, most importantly, the skiing in this film is excellently shot. The melodrama is relentless, but when they hit the slopes, it's a great skiing movie. Great camera work pulls you onto the mountains, and this movie is just pleasantly engaging from start to finish. We're jumping ahead 1 year to 1994 for my next movie, and we're hitting the courts in the basketball drama Above the Rim about a high school phenom who's forced to navigate various relationships as he seeks out his NBA dreams, teaching him that the hardest part of winning is choosing sides. I would say this is a sports movie that does deliver an intriguing different blend of elements for the genre. Admittedly, the main character isn't that likable, but that's sort of the point of his character, as you get to see the growth in his maturity despite all the pressures being thrown at him. Now, the acting isn't perfect here. Leon does cement the cast nicely. He is a great actor, and Tupac simmers with a subtle rage that works for his character. I do actually think that some of the imperfections actually make these characters feel more natural, which fits into a story that does deliver some dark themes to explore, but it does so, I would say, without feeling too heavy-handed to damper the more upbeat vibe of the film. There really is an energized atmosphere to this one, and to me it's all due to the fantastic soundtrack. The music plays a key role in just constantly pumping energy into this movie. I think this complements the on-court action nicely and results in a movie that can very easily lure you in. But I mean, as I always say in a sports movie, most importantly, the basketball has to be great, and it's excellently shot from rookie director Jeff Pollack. The cast and the extras all had legit skills on the court, so the camera can just sit back and capture it all, and I think this gives the movie plenty of adrenaline-pumping basketball sequences that still hold up very good today. Alright, go get your skateboards for my next movie from 1986. It's called Thrashin', starring Josh Brolin, about 2 guys who are going to battle it out. One's fighting for love, the other's fighting for honor, but for both of them, it's skate or die. As I've said before in other videos, Thrashin' captures an 80s LA skateboarding vibe with so much fun, appealing nostalgia. It's a teenage love story injected into the punk world of skateboarding, and it's just fantastic. I mean, Brolin is a charismatic lead, and Rustler and his gang are just a comical group of villains. But I mean, where this movie really shines is in the skateboarding action. The finale is a perfect, just adrenaline-pumping climax as they go through the LA massacre. But throughout this movie, there is is a lot of non-stop action. There's great street skating on Hollywood Boulevard, some ramp skating, empty pools. You get it all with this movie. Professional skateboarders were used, and it results in just some awesome footage, all set to some killer punk music. I mean, Thrashin' doesn't necessarily hide from its shortcomings. It's a delightfully cheesy but cute ride. It knows that and kind of embraces the campiness, in my opinion. I think it also does check all the boxes in the genre, but none of it hinders the appeal of just Brolin's summer in LA. He has a great energy, and he learned how to skate just enough to sell him in this role. And I just love the ridiculous joust battle between him and Rustler in the canal. It's so dumb, but just so amazing at the same time. You're going to want to get your surfboard and your suntan lotion for my next pick, because we're hitting the waves in the 1987 hidden classic North Shore about a kid who came to surf a small stretch of coastline more powerful than a man's will, and in doing so he found a woman that would show him how to survive in a challenge like no other.
It doesn't matter who plays, it's the nature of the beast. I know you had to be.
Now, the story progression in this film is admittedly a bit simplistic, but there's a lot of heart and sincerity in the performances that you can connect with. The acting is shaky in spots, but it's more than serviceable, with Gregory Harrison really cementing the cast nicely as the elder statesman of everybody. But I mean, where this movie thrives is in the escape into the world of surfing that it delivers while watching. The surfing and the camera work are impressive. All these years later, there are a ton of great visual shots. It can certainly pull you out into the waves when you watch this movie. It also delivers a fantastic soundtrack with a stream of classic upbeat 80s tunes, and with all the tropical locations and the endless style, this movie does deliver the intended surfing adventure, from the waves to the culture to the lifestyle. There's also an endearing mentor-tutor storyline between Adler and Harrison that can lure you in, and the romantic angle between Adler and Peoples does, I mean, as simple as it was, just has an endearing charm, naivete to it that can lure you in and have you hoping that their young love will get a chance. And for my last movie in this video, we're stepping into the ring, the squared circle as they call it, for the boxing drama Gladiator from 1992, about two inner city kids that against all odds became friends. However, against their will, they became opponents.
In my eyes, it's written on my face, I will survive.
High school kids and illegal underground boxing doesn't sound like it makes the best movie, but here it actually translates into a thrilling little drama with plenty of action, heart, and boxing intensity that takes itself pretty seriously. Gooding Jr. and Marshall are an unlikely but effective 1-2 punch for this film, but I mean, Brian Dennehy as the sadistic Don King-esque persona and his relentless manipulation of these kids is what fuels the unnerving tension of this movie. It weaves some coming-of-age storylines with some admittedly generic hard luck scenarios, but the dramatic nut, the core of this plot and its characters, make it a surprisingly compelling watch. The on-location shoots and its soundtrack infuse the story with a gritty atmosphere that complements the tone of the story nicely. Robert Loggia pops in as well, and while Marshall wasn't the most charismatic lead, I think his lack of emotion did fit the role nicely, and Gooding Jr. was able to really step in to be a scene stealer when needed, and when the film steps into the ring, it really is at its best. The boxing is well shot, it's gritty and nicely edited, and brings more than enough tension to engage you in the story throughout the runtime. And that's it for today, guys. I had so much fun putting this video together. It was so nostalgic to go revisit all these movies that I remember seeing countless times as a kid. They were all able to just put me right back in my little mind that I had as a teen. They were able to recapture the cheesy magic that made all these movies resonate with me growing up, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think of these flicks down in the comments, and until the next video, I'll catch you guys at the movies.
It's Jack Burton and the Pork Chop Express, and I'm talking to whoever's listening out there.
Live a war, you gotta become war.
I suppose we have to register you as a lethal weapon.
You trying to say Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball?